Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers again, and man, oh man, the bombshell statement Seth made last night on his live stream. Now listen to this, guys. I just want to make some points. This is just another video where I'm going to make some pointers, because I don't know if anybody else has talked about this or not. I've been busy all day. I've not got to check out anybody's videos or anything like that. But man, first point I want to make in the bombshell statement that Seth Rogers made. If they found Sebastian, he wouldn't go back over to Chris and Katie's. Something about over his dead body. He would not go back over there. Damn, what a statement. Now that's a statement right there, guys. That's a statement. Second thing I want to talk to you guys about, second point I want to make, is, well, do we still know that the police are looking at Chris and Katie? I mean, how do we know the police are looking at Chris and Katie? Seth has had a talk with law enforcement. Law enforcement has reassured Seth, and Seth feels good about the investigation and which way it's going. And Seth still, after talking to police, Seth still, according to him, allegedly, ain't looking past Chris and Katie. I mean, think about this, guys. Seth has had a chance to sit down with law enforcement. Law enforcement has reassured him, hey, you know, we're doing this, we're doing that. Seth even says, said in his live stream last night that, you know, they've got a treasure trove of evidence, a mountain of evidence. And for him to still be looking at Chris and Katie, that tells me a lot right there, guys. It tells me a lot. Because law enforcement, when they sat down with Seth, if they've got a treasure trove of evidence, they could have easily said, listen, Seth, I know you're not happy with what was going on over there. I know you're not happy with, Katie and Chris. But dude, everything we've got, we've got some stuff. I think you probably need, cut them a little bit of slack, because, it's not going that way, if you know what I mean. The investigation's not going that way. We can't tell you everything, but they would have told Seth, bring it down a little bit. They're not who we're looking at in a roundabout way. You know what I mean? Law enforcement had a chance to basically do that with Seth. And for Seth to still be, pounding the table, Chris and Katie, and very emotional and upset with them, and saying, he wouldn't go back over there because it'd be over his dead body. I think I know which way the investigation's going. But this is just all based off my opinions on Seth's statements and behavior. Okay, that's just my opinion on his behavior and statements. Now, Seth did say that law enforcement's got a treasure trove of evidence, a mountain of evidence, something similar to that effect on his live stream last night. Him and I can't think of his name now. I'll have to apologize to him. Tony, yeah. Him and Tony was talking about that. And I just want to talk a little bit about that right now, guys. I'll talk a little bit about that. And like I said, if you didn't get to see my last video, go look at it. I kind of had an epiphany. And again, maybe law enforcement's about to come out with something, guys. So let's talk a little bit about this treasure trove of evidence, guys. Now, we don't know exactly what the police have, but we can go on what we think that they have, what we've kind of been exposed to as far as building stuff that could help build a case against Chris and Katie if they're responsible. Yeah, I got to put that in there. So let's start with number one on the agenda here as far as possible evidence, guys. CPS reports. CPS reports. Let me know when the video's over if you think the CPS reports are going to play an important role in this investigation. So let me know. Let me know after the video's over. Another thing, speaking of treasure trove and mountain of evidence that they've got, building a case. What made them search the landfill, guys? You know, we really don't know if they found something or not. They said that they didn't find nothing. They said they didn't find nothing, right? Just like they said the lights were not of any evidentiary value at that time, right? Let's talk about number three. Yeah, let's talk about the third thing here. Security footage. Now, we've all seen some security footage and are interested in security footage close to Sebastian's home, right? But what I'm interested in, guys, as far as evidence goes that Seth is talking about that they have, I'm interested in what we haven't seen from law enforcement. That's what I'm interested in, what we haven't seen from law enforcement. What kind of security footage does law enforcement have maybe a mile down the road from Sebastian's house, 2 miles down the road, 5 miles down the road? What kind of security footage does law enforcement have maybe from some businesses down the road from Sebastian's house? It's pretty much one way in and one way out of that subdivision. And as you go up and down, I don't know if it's Long Holler or whatever it is, I'm sure there's some churches, businesses, more home security cameras and ring doorbell cameras. I'm interested in the stuff that law enforcement may have that's away from Sebastian's home, not right there in the neighborhood. I mean, right there in the neighborhood is kind of interesting too, but what do they have that's maybe a mile away, half a mile away, down on the main thoroughfare, you know, going to and from Stafford Court? You know what I mean? That's what I'm interested in, guys. What kind of evidence does law enforcement have as far as some of the aggressive behavior of Chris Proudfoot, right? Of course, some of that may stem back to the CPS reports, but maybe some other stuff too, guys. I mean, for example, what about the aggressive behavior of Chris Proudfoot on YouTube, right? We've seen some pretty bad examples of his aggressive behavior towards people on YouTube. That you know, that could be some of the evidence that they're like, hey, we'll just keep that over here because I'm sure a jury would like to, you know, if it comes to that, I'm sure they're like, man, we could just, you know, put these YouTube things over here and let a jury see those when the time comes. Let a jury see how Mr. Proudfoot acts. Y'all follow me? When Seth is talking about law enforcement having a treasure trove of evidence, and YouTube, you know, the aggressive behavior of Chris on YouTube, didn't Chris, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly threaten Seth? The threat Chris made towards Seth about keeping his mouth shut, or something to the effect he'd never open it again. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Maybe law enforcement's got that over here, ready to play it for the jury, along with maybe showing the jury some CPS reports. You know what I mean? Getting very interesting, guys. It's getting very interesting. So again, you know, after Seth's live stream last night, I just like laid down in the bed, stared at the ceiling, let it process. And the thing I kept coming back to was like, what did Seth mean about law enforcement having a treasure trove of evidence? He really hit home with that too. They've got a mountain of evidence, a treasure trove of evidence. He really hit home with that. And he also hit home with, you know, if Sebastian was found, it'd be like over his dead body if he ever went back over to Chris and Katie's. That speaks volume, guys. So, like I said, you know, could law enforcement be getting ready to drop an image of a vehicle? Boy, wouldn't that be something? Boy, that'd stir the hornet's nest, wouldn't it? What if law enforcement was to drop an image of a vehicle, maybe going down Long Hollow, maybe on one of these other streets? You know, who knows? Maybe they'll just, maybe at, you know, I'm thinking now, guys, that's the reason why law enforcement's been quiet this whole time. Because if what Seth is saying is true, and they've got a treasure trove full of evidence, it could be any time. It could be any time when the prosecutor's office says, "Hey, that's it. We got a good case. Go round them up." Could be any time, guys. Any time. I just thought about that. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Go drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. Again, thanks for tuning in to the channel. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.